Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to my YouTube channel, and today I'm going to be reviewing Mighty Morphin Power Rangers Season 1, Episode 4, titled A Pressing Engagement. We start off this episode at the juice bar, where we see Jason lifting weights to try to beat the record of number of bench presses while Ernie is counting them off. The world record is 1,010 presses, which that is not physically possible. I don't even know why that is a thing that's not physically possible. We see Kimberly doing gymnastics on the balance beam, and then she comes off of the balance beam and comes to cheer on Jason while she's chewing bubblegum. Then Jack comes in on a skateboard and face plants into a bubble that Kimberly was blowing and pops it, which make a mess all over her face. And due to all of that, that makes Early lose count. But for some reason, that means Jason will have to start over again from zero instead of starting from the number that Ernie left off at. Wait, that reminds me, there's a crowd watching. Wouldn't they remember the number that Ernie was counting? Anyways. Meanwhile, on the Moon Palace, we see Rhea needs to send out Goldar with Fencer to make a monster to take out the leader of the team, Jason. Because I guess Rita assumes that Jason would get annoyed with his friends or something like that. We cut back to the juice bar where we see Zach is buying Jason and Kimberly some I'm sorry milkshakes because we can't see no drama between the teams or conflict. And then Bulk and Skull comes over to be jerks to the Rangers, but we find out that Bulk actually holds the world record. So yeah, which is again weird because that's not physically possible, but okay. After that, we see Bulk basically trying to bully Jason by hugging him really tight, and then after that, we see his pants rip, and we see him wearing underwear. Wow. Then after that, Jason basically states how he didn't need his friend's help to handle Bulk. Then Kim makes a point to say there's nothing wrong with needing help from your friends, which kind of comes out of nowhere because Jason don't really comes off as a person that needs too much help, but yeah. Then the communicator goes off, which is from Zordon, and tell the three Rangers that a new monster named King Space has arrived and now it is attacking the miniature stage, I guess. So those three Rangers morph and
It's morphin' time, guys.
and we see the plays look a little bit different, like Rocky things, but yeah. So we see King Space basically flap his ring and sing Zach and Kimberly back to the juice bar, and we see them both land on Kimberly's ballet spin that we saw her train on earlier, which that is weird. That's random. But we have no idea where Billy and Trini is. I guess they just didn't hear the communicators or Zordon didn't think to call them for whatever reason. So then after that, I guess King Space decides to kidnap Jason and take him to an abandoned rock quarry, I guess. Then we finally see Billy and Trini hanging out at Billy's garage. And when Kimberly and Zach comes up, it basically says that Jason got kidnapped by King Space. Then we see them teleport to the command center, and then we see they use some weird CGI to make their power crystals. So after that, we see them somehow get them to Jason, and somehow Jason knows where the power crystals are for whatever reason. And then he holds them up into the sky and somehow summons the other Rangers into the battle for somehow, I guess. Rhea gets really mad and makes King Springs and Goldar grow. We see the Rangers summon their Zords. They use their power crystal, what they already totally had. But anyways, moving on. They go into tank mode, then Megazord mode, and then we see most of the fight with Goldar from episode 1. And then King Space is just defeated, and then Goldar retreats. Then we come back to Moon Palace where we see Rita's upset that her nonsensical plan didn't work. Then we see the teams go back to the juice bar because that's where there is most of the time. And then we see that Jason just had beat the record for the amount of bench presses. Then we also see that Billy and Tree are also there to cheer him on, and Ernie is nowhere to be found. Then Ernie shows up and brings Jason a cake for a good job for beating the record. And then after that, we see both balls in the cake. Yeah, and that's it for this episode. Overall, this episode was really confusing. There were a lot of weird moments. Like, for example, how can a team bench 1,010 bench presses without causing any type of damage? And then you have the plot where you had to get all the Rangers out of stock footage except the Red Ranger, and then you just have Billy and Trini not even there for half of the episode, and then you have Kimberly and Jack teleport back to the juice bar and end up on the balance beam in plain sight where people could have saw that. And then you have the power crystals, which has been completely used in the other 3 episodes. And then Jason tried to say that the crystals activate firepower, which they have been using in the first 3 episodes already. In Zyuranger, those power crystals help them combine into Daijujin, aka the Megazord. But overall, this episode struggled with because they used the Megazord footage in the first 3 episodes already. They struggled with this episode because this is the introduction of the Megazord in the Sentai version, so that's why they struggle with this episode. But overall, yeah. That's it for today's episode. If you guys did enjoy, be sure to like, subscribe, and turn on this post notification. My other reviews will be in a playlist down below. Having all that being said, may the power protect you.